Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Night Cairo broadcast, sponsored by DE and Banner Brothers around the world. Got a special guest tonight, Dr. Anthony Lauro. He's been just coming from DE for the past year and a half. And listen, I love hearing stories from people I don't know that well. I love hearing their background. And so we're all going to learn a little bit about Dr. Anthony tonight. But before we do, just a reminder, DE is coming up. It's coming up just like 2 weeks away from now. So it's October 23rd to 26th. Not too late to get registered. I'm not sure about the room block. We're staying at the Atlanta Marriott at the Perimeter. If you cannot get a room at there, reach out to Kat, see if she has extra rooms she can get available. But please get registered and get after it. We're going to have a great DE. I missed the past couple, so I'm really looking forward to being there. We have our teams, and this time we're really going to try to get our teams get it connected, or the Connect group. I'm part of the Purple team. If you're a Purple team, reach out to me. I'm excited to see you all again. We got the yellow team, the orange team, and blue team, and we're going to really try to make it to where we're united together, not only as overall DE, but as our teams. When you go home, you have somebody you can reach out to and ask questions, and keep that DE vibration going into your practice, into your life throughout the holidays and until we get back together in January. So again, with no further ado, Dr. Anthony, I was just talking to him before. He is a busy dude. He's been in practice 36 years, has one practice in New City, New York, and he said he recently moved down to into New Jersey, down the shore, and he has another practice in Kenton Falls, New Jersey. Again, graduated from Palmer, Iowa, 36 years ago, still rocking it, and looking forward to hearing the story. So, Paul, take over, or excuse me, Anthony, take over.
Thank you, Andy. It is such an honor to be asked to speak tonight. I have such respect for this DE organization, and it is so nice to talk to a group of chiropractors that just want to talk about adjusting spines and teaching the principle, and don't want to talk about any of the new gadgets or the new weight loss system or the new supplement. So, and that's really how I was raised in chiropractic. Now, I first heard about DE, had to be back in the late 90s or so. I would go to the Higher Ground seminars, and Sigafus would speak there. It was at his daughter Selena and brother, son-in-law Kevin Jackson's office out in York, Pennsylvania. And Sigafus would talk, and he would talk about DE all the time. And would also go to the New York or New Jersey council meetings. And Dick Santos used to talk there, and he would always talk about DE. Though back in those days, I never made it down there. But I used to do the philosophy thing with New Beginnings, and Ernie Landy used to have a philosophy night at his office. But after attending DEs, I really wish that I would have started going back then. So my story is I'm a second generation chiropractor, as many of you are. My father graduated Palmer in Iowa in 1957, and his brother, my Uncle Steve, graduated in 1949. And interestingly enough, in my father's class was also Reggie Gold and Tom Gilardi, and the famous Sid Williams were all from that class. So it's quite a class they had back in 1957. And Reggie Gold and my dad were pretty close, and they both wound up practicing in the same county, in Rockland County. And I remember as a little kid, Reggie and Irene, they never had kids and they were Jewish. They used to spend Christmas Eve with us and help decorate the tree. I even have a picture somewhere of Reggie putting the star on our Christmas tree. And then he would read to us the night before Christmas. So, back in those days, they used to do the chiropractic philosophy nights at someone's house. Because I remember when I was really young, and I got woken up in the middle of the night, and I wandered out into the living room, and there was all this smoke and arguing going on, and it was a chiropractic philosophy night. And of course, they were talking about the principle and chiropractic politics and everything. So they used to have it shifted around to different houses every so often whenever they did it. So, growing up in a chiropractic family, my father had a home office, and I'm the oldest of six. And, typically, there's no medications. Of course, we never were vaccinated or anything like that. Our health care was chiropractic adjustments. And when you needed the rest, my mother would say, you're staying home today, rest and get adjusted, and everything resolved itself. I think the only medical visits I can remember is in fourth grade. I broke my arm, and my father x-rayed it, downstairs and saw it was broken, went to the emergency room, got a cast. And one of my sisters messing around fell and cut her head open on the fireplace, and she had some stitches. But other than that, we never had any real exposure to the whole medical system. And I remember, with kids on the bus, they'd be talking about, taking medications or going to the doctor or getting these shots. And I just kind of kept to myself because that had, was nothing that we would do. We ate, food was pretty clean, good, wholesome food. Mom cooked all the time, never any soda or junk food in the house. That was always like a treat if you went to the movies or something like that. So growing up, I was very into sports. I loved working out. I loved playing sports, especially playing football. And by the time I was in high school and graduated high school, I was fortunate enough. I got a full football scholarship to go to East Texas State University out in Commerce, Texas. So, I'm down at school. I got to register for classes, and I got to pick, what kind of degree I'm going to get. So as the oldest son of a chiropractor in a chiropractic family, I'm going to be a chiropractor. So I registered for, all the prerequisites to get into chiropractic school. So, I made it through. I wasn't the best student. I had a nice football career there, and I graduated, and it was time to apply to school. So I applied to Palmer, and I got accepted. And I started to have some second thoughts, and it was never about chiropractic. It was honestly, I was not a good student, and the academics kind of scared me a bit. And I also felt that I really didn't give myself an opportunity to really see or do anything else. So I decided to pull back on that, and I had a nice long heart-to-heart with my parents. And they were very understanding. They were like, well, when you're ready to go, it's a big commitment, you'll go. So they made me feel really comfortable about that. So I wound up with a couple friends of mine. We moved out west, out to the Arizona area, and we got odd jobs and, had different experiences. And it was a good growing experience for me. It was really good. And then I wound up moving back to New York into the city. And was one of my job. I was bartending at the Playboy Club, which just opened down on 48th in Lexington. So I'm working at the Playboy Club, and as life has it, I wound up dating a Playboy bunny who just happened to have started going to chiropractic school at New York Chiropractic, which used to be out on Long Island, I think in the Levittown area. So, we would get together, and she was studying, so I would help her study. And I would read the chapter with her, and I'd answer the questions. And I was getting it. I was understanding. I was like, this isn't that hard. I guess if you decide to actually study, you can learn something. So I got a little confident with the actual schooling. And I remember maybe a couple months after that, I was working. It was a slow night bartending. And I was 26 at the time, so it was a few years since I graduated undergraduate. And I started to really have like some self-reflection. And, the big question, what am I going to do with my life? I knew bartending really wasn't going to be a long-term thing, but it was, paying the bills at the time. So you know, everybody wants to make money, and I'm thinking I really wanted to do something that I felt would help people, that would be something important, that something that would help people and change lives. And this big voice went off in my head, go back to chiropractic school. And I was like, you know what, it's time. So the next day I called my father. I said, hey, Dad, I'm going to go to chiropractic school. It's time and I'm ready. But I'm not going to go to Palmer. I'm living in Manhattan. I said, New York Chiropractic's right here. I'm just going to go to New York Chiropractic. So I enrolled in there and I got accepted. But at that time, there was something going on with New York Chiropractic's accreditation. They were having a problem with the CCE, and the students were jumping ship left and right. A bunch of them were going to Life, and a bunch of them were going to Palmer. So my girlfriend at the time, she didn't want to get caught up in that mess, so she was transferring to Palmer, and she didn't want to waste any time, so she went right out there. It was like the October quarter. So for me, it was easy. I was already accepted to Palmer, so I wanted to save some money and get some things together. So my plan was to go out in the January quarter. So I remember it was a Thursday night. It was the last night of bartending. On Friday, I rented a U-Haul van and hooked it up to my 77 Cutlass. I packed everything that weekend, drove out to Davenport, Iowa, and my girlfriend had the apartment all set up already. And I got there like on a Saturday, and Monday morning, I remember I'm sitting at 7 a.m. in Chip Mortar's spinal anatomy class going like, what the hell did I do? I hadn't been in a classroom in like 4 years. I'm in the middle of Iowa. And I'm sitting in this class, maybe 180 students in it, spinal anatomy. So, got off to a pretty good start there. And Palmer had a rugby team that they had since like the 1960s. And they gave scholarships for it, if you made the A side. So my football background translated great into rugby. And I started to play rugby there, and I loved it. The guys were great. The team was great. We would travel around. We would bring adjusting tables and adjust the other team in the tournaments. We would be, the guys in clinic and stuff would be adjusting other players and stuff. It was really a great experience while going to school and playing rugby. And as I was going through school and learning about the philosophy and learning about the effects of the subluxation, I got it how a subluxation nerve interference can cause dysfunction and dis-ease. And it made me think that as an athlete, that if you were subluxated, you couldn't perform to your optimal abilities. And I was about to go into clinic at that time, and I was really wondering if that was ever researched. So at the time, Palmer was starting to put a lot of money into their research department. They had built a whole new facility, and they were open for new projects. So I went to the library. There was no internet back then. And I was trying to find if anybody had done any research on chiropractic effects on athletic performance, and I couldn't find anything. Everything had to do with chiropractic helping some kind of sports injury, whether it was a shoulder or a knee or a low back or a hip, but nothing that directly correlated chiropractic helping athletic performance. So I was like, well, I'm going to do that study. So I recruited a buddy of mine on the rugby team, Dr. Brian Mount, great chiropractor, great guy. And he was a great numbers guy, great stats guy that would really be beneficial to this type of study. So we had written up a whole proposal, and we had to go in front of the research board, which was like maybe 8 or 10 different professors, and go over what our idea was, what our thesis was. And I was so surprised that 2 or 3 of the professors was giving a lot of pushback, like they didn't get the correlation between correcting subluxation and its effect on athletic performance. I was really shocked. And but the head of the research, Dr. Robert Wagner, really liked the project, so he gave it the green light. So we got a area in the research clinic to take care of patients. We got a budget. So we went out and we started recruiting people for this study. So what we did is we recruited adult men and women that were involved in some kind of sport and regular training. And the main criteria was they didn't present with any acute injury because we didn't want to see how chiropractic helped that injury. And so basically asymptomatic, and that they were never under chiropractic care before. So we took this group and then we wanted to test their level of athletic performance. So we researched out and we divided athletic ability up into 5 categories. It was agility, balance, speed, reaction time, muscular power, and kinesthetic awareness. And then we found 11 tests, physical tests, that tested those different attributes in athletic ability. And we ran all 50, participants through those tests, gathered the data, and then we divided them into 2 groups: a control group that would not receive chiropractic care and an experimental group that would receive care. And we were just utilizing the Palmer Clinic protocol, new patient examination, subluxation assessment, and and care plans according to the Palmer Clinic protocols. So we put these people under care. We told them, go train as usual. Don't change anything you're doing. And after 6 weeks, we brought them all back, and then we ran them through the same exact tests, those 11 ability tests, and we compared that data to the data from 6 weeks prior. And what we found was pretty amazing. The control group, the group that didn't receive any chiropractic care, on all those tests combined, compared to the first test done 6 weeks, they had an overall improvement of 4.5%, which with this kind of research is within the learning curve and was expected that you would do a little bit better having a second opportunity to perform the same test. Now, the experimental group, the group getting chiropractic care, after 6 weeks, comparing their tests to the original ones, they improved almost 11%, 10.7% improvement, a little bit better balance, a little bit better power, speed, and reaction time. And we thought that was pretty significant, and it was statistically significant. So then we decided to keep them under care for another 6 weeks and test them again at a 12-week interval. Now, personally, figured these athletes came in, they really didn't have any injuries. They showed a nice improvement while under chiropractic care at 6 weeks. And personally, I really wasn't expecting it to be much different at 12 weeks, but that's why you do the studies, that's why you play the game. So at 12 weeks, we retested them, compared it to the original set of data, and they improved almost 17%, 16.7% improvement in athletic performance, which was very significant. Because think about it, what's the difference in the ball contact of hitting a foul tip or hitting a home run, or slicing a golf ball into the woods and hitting a perfect drive down the line, or shooting a basketball and hitting the back of the rim as opposed to swish getting all net? Very little. And I felt that 16.7% can make a huge difference in people's performance. So we were very excited about the results of the study and couldn't wait to actually publish it, which we did. We wrote it up, and it wound up being published in the Journal of Chiropractic Research and Clinical Investigation, the January 1991 edition. So that December of '89, I graduated chiropractic school. I went home to practice with my father. And I was really excited about this because I wanted to work with athletes, and not with injuries. I wanted to work with athletes chiropractically so they could improve their performance. But, how was I going to get this information to the athletes? Very few athletes are going to be reading the Journal of Chiropractic, Research and Clinical Investigation. Very few coaches, if any, are going to ever read it. So I decided I would make some kind of education program that I could bring to the athletes. So I came up with this idea called ChiroForce, Athletic Excellence Through Chiropractic. And my brother at the time was pretty good at these type of things. He helped me create a pamphlet and a poster. This is the example of one of them. And I went calling the different high schools and was asking to speak to any of the teams that wanted to hear about this information. And they would actually invite me to come in, and I would speak to the team, soccer team or football team, wrestling team. They also wanted me to speak to the health classes. So I would speak to health classes. So in those early days, that's how I started to build my practice as far as going around and promoting this chiropractic for athletic excellence through chiropractic. And so it was successful for me. So I figured I could share this with other chiropractors. So I made like this little patient education program that I call ChiroForce. And at the time, I was a client of Markson Management Services on Long Island, Larry Markson. And he loved the idea, and he loved the program, and he let me present it to his clients at his 4 locations around the country, and helped me get to like a nice kickoff. And I got to give want to give a big thank you to Larry, and also to Terry Romberg, because at a seminar that I was at, I can't remember which one, he saw the program, and he helped promote it through the newspaper, the Chiropractic Journal. And that's how I got to kicked off my chiropractic career. So I've been practicing, about 36 years now. Still working, 4 full days and 2 half days a week. I bounce back and forth between my New York and New Jersey office. The original plan was to open the Jersey office and either sell or give up the New York office, but it happened right before COVID, and it's in a big fitness facility that I opened with my sister, Pilates and hot yoga. So COVID kind of threw a little monkey wrench into the plan, but I don't really play golf. So, 6 days a week doing chiropractic, something I love with the patients and everything. I still love doing it and don't see myself really ever stop doing it. So, that's my little story, my chiropractic story and history. I hope people got something out of it. I wanted to give you something maybe you could work with talk to your patients about tomorrow. And I'm so honored to be invited to speak. And Andy, thank you very much. Whoever brought my name up, I want to thank you. And I look forward to seeing everybody at the next DE, which I'll be watching live stream, but I'll be at the next one. I really love the live stream. It keeps me in contact, with all the speakers and everything. And thank you very much. That's all I got.
Hey, Anthony, thank you so much. That's a great story. I appreciate you, man. I can't believe you're trying to tell me that athletes aren't riveted and just researching the Journal of Chiropractic. Come on, right? I mean,
I know.
I can't believe that's not in every athlete's first thing they're reading in the morning, right?
It should be. It should be.
So, ChiroForce, that's a great story and good information. I mean, 16% improvement, any athlete, if you can get 16% improvement in whatever you're doing, I don't care if it's golf or bowling or whatever, you're going to make some big numbers. That's awesome.
Yeah, there was so many, back in those days, the San Francisco 49ers were talking about chiropractic. Evander Holyfield was under chiropractic. Tiger Woods had a chiropractor. And a lot of them were talking about they used it to improve performance.
Right.
But
exactly.
Nobody done any research on it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great story. I appreciate that, man. I mean, now people can still, again, that's 36 years ago. Still, people can plug it in their practice today. That's awesome. Another thing you said that I didn't mention in the intro, if you aren't coming to this DE, join the DE club and get the live stream, because I've had to miss a couple because of family issues and everything. And it's not the same vibration, but you get there and you can be listening to it. And if you've been there enough, like myself, you can almost feel and feel the energy in there because I've been there, and it's just awesome. So
no, I look, there's nothing that like being there, but the live stream, is awesome if you can. I love it.
Absolutely.
That way you can never miss.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. And I won't give you a hug in October, but I will in January. How's that sound?
You're on, Andy.
All right, brother. Hey, everybody, have a great night. And again, get registered. We'll see you at D in 2 weeks. Love
Thank
y'all. Good night. Thank you.